starting tight end, RJ at receiver, and that kind of generated a lot of buzz. Just people seeing, the two of you there together. I know we've talked about it a lot, but to see that and know that that's just kind of the approach that you guys are going with, having you both out there. How exciting is that for you?
Yeah, it's super exciting. I mean, been working for that, so it's a great honor, and I'm super happy the coaches are able to see me in that light. But at the same time, I mean, it's really just like, to me, it's just a versatility thing. I mean, me and RJ both being on the field at the same time is like, I mean, it provides so many looks and so many different threats for defenses to guard. So we really don't even get into the X's and O's of it all. We're kind of just both, playing our role, doing our position, doing the best we can. We really don't even see it like that. But it is cool. It is an honor.
We talked with Kevin yesterday. He said that the offseason felt like it's taken years. Now that the season is here, how do you make sure that the excitement doesn't take over and you're still focused on the task at hand?
Yeah, I think it really is just a matter of taking it day by day. I mean, I definitely agree with Kevin. It's felt like it's been a long time coming to get to game one, and it is just like super exciting just to be able to get out there and finally start playing against another team. But it's like the coaches said today. We got to focus on the day that we're in. Being where your feet are is a big part of that. And once you get into practice mode and you're getting those reps, like knowing why you're doing it is like a good reminder. It like keeps you grounded. Everything we do, everything we've done, the reason off season has felt so long is because we're doing our very best to get ready for these games. So I mean, that's really what it's all about. Can't take those days for granted.
How would you describe your chemistry with Kevin?
I think it's been really just growing since I got here. Honestly, I got here after spring ball last year, so didn't have a ton of time. Like I had the summer and camp to sort of build on that chemistry. Really just get to know Kevin as a person. Kind of get that locker room chemistry going. But now it's like we're hanging out outside of the building. We're playing spike ball in the locker room, things like that. So like just that, like knowing him and his character, like it's easy to be friends with him. And then I really think like that sort of bond, like that brotherhood translates to the field. And then as far as like practice and everything, like just getting those reps and like having that connection, over and over again, and like building that trust has been huge. And I hopefully I'm excited for it to show on the field on Saturdays.
How do you think, with you filling in for RJ last year, how do you think that helped you prepare you for your role in the team this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really just a good opportunity for me to, take on a little bit more responsibility and like prove, try to like elevate to the role that really RJ had. I mean, RJ set the standard for tight ends here. Like, he's a dog, so he set that ceiling high, and for me, it was like, we lost one of our best players. Like, now it's on me to like try to like live up to that standard and to fill in that role and then kind of just grow from there. So, obviously it's a challenge, but one that I was super looking forward to, ready to prove myself, and now having us both out there, I think it's just an opportunity for us to both raise the standard of the tight end room.
Do you feel like your relationship with RJ off the field allows you guys to be successful at the same time on the field, knowing that you're not going to be like super competitive over who's getting more receptions and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's all love. I'm sure if you asked him the same question, he'd say the same thing. It's never really bad blood. Like, obviously it's like we kind of just look at it as healthy competition. We're just trying to make each other better. There's a ton of things that I take from RJ and his game and learn from, especially having like being able to watch his reps in the tight end room and learn from him, and hopefully have some bits here and there to like he can pick up on, like is honestly just making us both better. So and he was the same way even when I first got here. We've never seen having two good tight ends as a bad thing, and really the reality is we have 4 or 5 good tight ends this year who can all see the field and fill in that role. So having what's good for the eye is good for the bee. I know it's corny, but like you have a bunch of tight ends in a room doing their own thing, and you pick up on what people do well, what people need to work on, and everybody gets developed that way. So it's honestly great. The more good tight ends, the better. It's the way I see it.
What do you feel like as an offense, or just as a team as a whole, you need to get out of this game this weekend? Besides winning, obviously you're a pretty heavily favored in this game, and just knowing what you have coming up in the non-conference schedule.
Yeah, and it's a good question. Coach Lashley kind of touched on this too, and I totally agree with him. I think we just need to learn about ourselves. We've been playing against ourselves for so long, and getting reps against the defense who has our looks, and the defense getting looks against our offense who kind of has our playbook. Being able to go out and see who we are and what our identity is. What we do in the face of adversity, like finding ourselves, and what's going to make this team a team. Like, what's our identity going to be for this year? You can obviously work on that, and that culture part is like absolutely harped on in practice and in meetings and in the locker room and things like that. But until you're out in the battle, it's like you really don't know who you are, how you're going to respond as a team. So I'm excited to see how we do, and I think we will. I think it'll be really healthy for us.
As a tight end, you have to run block, pass catch. Sometimes you even have to pass block. How do you approach the tight end position and executing it, finding the balance in all those phases?
Yeah, I mean, I really sort of started off as like more of a wide tight end run blocker. Obviously, got a lot of development at Michigan. A heavy blocking team, so that kind of was a little bit more natural for me. So for me, from there, I was really just trying to, kind of complete my game and kind of become a more complete tight end. Be able to get vertical, make moves at the top of my route. Like that was a big focus in my off season this year. Was like, sort of feeling more natural in my routes, feeling, second level releases, first level releases, fighting for the ball at the top of routes or at the point of attack, things like that. And then just, grinding on the details, man. Like when you get out of the heat of battle, you're really relying on instincts, but the more you can, focus and refine those details in practice, the less you have to think about them in the game, the more it just kind of comes naturally. So really just trying to stay polished on all of that. And, now you get into the season, it's like more about translating that into specific plays and routes and like making sure, I run the route exactly how Kevin sees it, like that sort of thing. But yeah, really just trying to maintain the details and not get lazy with that sort of thing.
There's been a lot of talk about you and RJ in the tight end room and Ahmad and Zay in the safety room, and you guys go up against each other and practice a lot. So two-part question. One, how excited are you to not go up against those two guys and for them to go up against other guys? And then two, how have you seen all of you guys raise each other's level throughout fall camp?
Yeah, no, I'm excited to not go against them and to see them against other people because, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, one-on-ones, with Kobe, he's calling me out for one-on-ones. We're getting it on. I got him on one today, and then, 7-on-7, he gets me back today. It's like that sort of thing. And, it's good. Like, it's fun, but it's also like there's a seriousness to that. Like, all right, like let's, lock in and, take what we can from this rep and be serious and intentional. And RJ and Ahmad, they're the same way. Ahmad's a freak. The dude's a freak athlete. It's honestly annoying. But yeah, that sort of thing, like being able to get that like level of competition in practice and get those looks is like probably the best work we get as far as like being able to like make plays and refine our skills and see what we need to work on, because it'll humble you real quick. Isaiah will humble you, and so will Ahmad. So.
Anything else?
All right.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.